I thought last year might be it. And then Mike got hired, and I talked to the wife, and she said, you can do one more year. So I said, well, let's see if it works out. And then it kind of all came together.
We just talked to DK earlier, and he said, well, saying it's the last year might just be something guys say, you don't get hit this year, you want to come back another year. Do you think you'll have any kind of debate or?
No, zero debate. Zero.
What's the biggest thing that excites you about having McCarthy coaching you?
Well, it's just a history. We got 13 years together. Got a long, long track record of success and playoff run, Super Bowl championship, and then just the full circle, seeing each other now where we're at in life. I think I'm the same age that he was when he got hired in Green Bay, so it's a nice full circle moment for both of us.
Is there something philosophically or schematically that you guys particularly click with? Do you see the game the same way? Do you attack it the same way?
Yeah, the West Coast offense, which is basically gone in the NFL, other than what Mike's doing.
Aaron, how do you view the significance of that trip you guys took out west? PK was talking about the camaraderie. What do you think comes out of that? How it impacts you guys as a group?
I think a lot is made about those trips. I think probably overblown at times. The most important chemistry is as the season gets going, for sure. But the thing I will say is that you spend 6 months with guys every single day, then you go on a trip for 4 days, and after the trip you felt like, man, I didn't even know these guys before these 4 days. So it was good bonding around the campfire, good activities out where we were at, and got out on the river and fished and did some things and rode some horses, and we had a good time.
One thing DK did say is that a goal of his is to increase his communication with you during the course of the week and your connectivity, so what you talked about during the week manifests on Sunday. Once the ball is snapped, what more do you think you can get out of DK this year, and how can that relationship grow once the game begins?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, this is what this training camp is for. I think we had a nice start in the OTAs. I thought he was super productive. He actually greeted me last night at the dorms. He's my roommate again, which I was excited about. He helped me unload my stuff. So I'd say we're in a real good place as far as our friendship. He looks incredible. He said he's about his normal weight, but he's lower body fat percentage. DK is a rare specimen. I think he likes the offense, likes the opportunities that he saw in the OTAs, and just about find a way to get on the same page in this second year together in training camp as we get going, and not put any crazy expectations on what it has to look like at certain times. The most important thing, like he said, is the communication, and I think it's been really good.
Last year, you didn't really take many, if any, practices off. A lot of veteran quarterbacks don't do that necessarily. Is that important to you, and do you expect this year to be any different? Do you expect to take more, or you should be out there?
I'd like a couple of days off. I already told the boss that, but some of the things working against me is he was with me forever, and he knows how much I love to practice, which I do. So I think it's a little push and pull. I'm not sure what the final decision was. Actually, Mike T had some days slotted for me to be off, and then we had some rain-out practices, so he counted those gym, walkthroughs as my days off. So I would like a couple. That'd be nice.
Mike McCarthy's talked to us a couple of times about QB school. Just what do you remember as a young quarterback about going through that, and what some of the benefits might have been?
Yeah, there's a lot of benefits. I did it with Tom Arth my first time. Now he's my coach. Tom, I've said this before, prettiest heel-toe drop I've ever seen. I still like to remind him of that, how he used to just make me look bad every single day. And, it was a crazy workout back then, just the two of us doing 45 minutes nonstop. So, one, it got us in shape. Two, you're doing stuff you don't normally do, like jump rope, which I think is really important kind of footwork thing. There's quick feet in that. And then the drill work is working on, throwing on the run from different angles and different, targets you're looking at. So it's way different, though. The QB school, whatever he's calling it now, is not what it was back then. I mean, that was March 15th. That was 3 days a week. That was going overtime sometimes. But the QB profile that he does do, I think, is a good learning tool for all young quarterbacks. But they missed out on the real work back then when the rules were different.
Aaron, once you decide you want to play, you have to assess whether you think you still can to your standard, and how do you do that?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's get back into the workout, see how the body feels, and then start to throw and see how the arms respond. And the arm has never been an issue, really, in all my 20-plus years playing, and before that, never really had any arm issues. Light soreness early in camp, maybe the first couple days, but never, any issues with that. It's just a leg. So, I did my usual, spend a lot of time with my bodywork folks and trying to lengthen muscles and open things up and feel better. And, then obviously I wanted to feel like I could come out in OTAs and have the rhythm at the time and throw it. And I feel like OTAs went really smooth. And, we'll see how camp goes. Obviously, it's always like ups and downs, and it's way more scrutinized than it used to be back in the day. So, there'll be a new learning curve for all of us as we get into it. But I feel like by the second week we'll start to hit our stride.
Aaron, does it feel any different knowing that it's your last time around as you're going through things?
I mean, I thought it might. Like last year, it felt way more dramatic to me. Like, oh, it's my last, arrival to training camp. And this year it doesn't feel anything. I really don't. I'm just happy to be out here with the guys. Good to see some of their faces I haven't seen in a while. Good to see the 6 guys that went on the trip with us again. I feel like there's like a tighter bond. They'll have to bring in some of the other guys who weren't at that trip, but it's good.
With that trip last year, you guys went to Malibu, you hosted everyone. How did you decide where you went this year, and where were you exactly in the Wild West?
A lot of the guys wanted a Malibu trip. They wanted to go to Nobu. They wanted to see the dolphins. They wanted to put their feet in the sand. And so this spring, I said, hey, what do you guys want to do this time? And they said, experience. We want to do an experience. I said, okay, what are you talking about? You want to go to Hawaii or something? Or they said, no, we want to go to the mountains. We want to do a ranch thing. So I did a lot of research and found a couple places, and then this place came available, and we're very thankful to the person that made that happen. I'm not allowed to speak on where it is, any of that thing, but it was a great time.
Aaron, what is your number one area that you would like to improve on going into this year?
I mean, I don't know. I work on stuff every single day. Have to think about that. It's day one. I'm just coming out of getting my passport renewal, so that was my main goal today, was to make sure I can go to France. So I think we're going to be locked in on that. But I'll be working on things every single day. It's more just, it's a different offense. So there's different terminology. Mike was flexible in changing a few things in the spring. But, it'll be a work in progress with the offense.
Aaron, Mike has a history of...
He's got it right here. Then you.
Aaron, Mike has a history of his teams throwing at the highest rates on first downs in the NFL. It's a change of pace for what the Steelers have been recently. What are the key elements that you guys need to achieve to make that and be one of those better teams at throwing on first down?
We got to be under center. We got to be under center and get the action game going and the movement game going. So, but it starts under center. I think some of the best offenses in the league are not shotgun happy. They're not too shotgun happy. Obviously, in third down, give me a shotgun. But the more you can be under center on first, second down, I think is really important to being efficient on those downs as well.
Aaron, how different is a Mike McCarthy training camp to maybe some of the other ones that you've participated in over the course of your career?
Well, you got to understand, like, I was with Mike in 2006, and that was back when you could do double days. So we had 2-1, 2-1 alternating. My first year was double days for the first couple weeks of camp. So training camp's way different. It's way easier. It's like a mental grind. It's not a physical grind the way it used to be. Now, knowing Mike and his Pittsburgh grit background, I'm sure he's going to try and make some gagger practices out there. But the rules are in place where there's a certain time frame. I don't know if it's 2 hours and 20 minutes or 2:30 or something. Back then, we used to joke about how quarterbacks would be on the field like 20 minutes before practice. We'd have a 3 hour and 15-minute practice. We get into like I used to say the real practice, like an hour and 45 in because it'd be so much individual work, and those were real practices. Those were not a whole lot of fun. So I'm not sure what the Mike McCarthy training camp practice will be like, but I know that the OTAs were crisp. You guys saw them out there. It was crisp. Things were moving fast, in and out of team periods, and I expect more of the same.
Have you learned-
Two more, guys, two more.
Have you learned anything about DK this offseason that maybe you didn't know over last year or last season?
Yeah, a lot of personal stuff for sure. Again, like, spend a lot of time with DK in the off season and during the season and outside the facility, and 4 days at the ranch. I found out more about him than I'd known in that time, and I think that's part of the plot of being kind of a man, an alpha in this society today. It's hard to be vulnerable, and I was trying to create the space where that was kind of normal. So I tried to be as honest and open as possible about kind of my own life and background and struggles and frustrations. And a lot of guys opened up and shared some really personal stuff. And I'm obviously not going to share that here, but yeah, man, I just have so much respect for DK and kind of how he grew up and where he's from, and just feel like I really got to know him. And now, before we were friends, but now I just feel like that word has a different meaning to it.
Last one here.
What excites you about this receiver room this year with the addition of Michael Pittman and drafting Jeremy Bernard and another year with Roman Wilson as well?
Yeah, I mean, those three, DK, obviously, I think this offense, suits DK. I think Michael, in his humility as a Z, asking him to do a lot of stuff that, I feel like we did when we were really good on offense in Green Bay in 20 and 21 with Devontae at the X, in the DK role, Allen Lazard in the Z, and Marquez. And, you got to stick your head in there and block, and then off of that, some action stuff, and then having a guy in the slot that can get open, which, I think Jerm's going to get some opportunities. But I think the guy out of anybody that's really shown this new staff, because it is a new staff, a lot of great tape, is Roman Wilson. I think Roman had a really nice spring. Got to know him, on a deeper level during that trip, which was fun. But I expect him to start to make some splash plays. He did in the spring, and I expect him to have a nice camp.